On the game plan, you'll see the column that says invite. There's lots of ways to find people and invite people. Not a lot of ways to invite people. We showed you that method, always from their profile, always hitting connect. Okay, Jay, do me a favor, will you? Go back to the LinkedIn tab that just says LinkedIn. My pointer. My pointer. Yeah, click that. And then in the search box, type in Marquette University. So we're going to do a university search now. Oh, there it is. University search. Specific to and when you see Marquette, when you see your school come up, you click it. Then you go, this will take you to the university page. Here's the university page. Click see alumni. Okay, this is a great way for you to put together your list of the companies you want to work for. Simple. Okay, then over here, let's say you want a job in Milwaukee. Click this bar right here, Jay. Okay. Then come over here and go down to what they do and look for the engineering. You'll see it somewhere down here. Got to open, show more. Then click engineer. Engineers right here, it's the bar above it. Okay? So in Milwaukee, you went to Marquette, so did 1,700, scroll down just a little bit, 1,789 people who are engineers. They work at these companies. Is that your hit list? That's one hit list I'd put together, because they're waiting for you, number 79 at Rockwell. They're also waiting for you, number 61 at Johnson Controls. They may be waiting for you, number 54 at Northwestern Mutual. Oh. Wonderful. What a tool. They should charge for this. It's free. When I first saw this tool pop about 5 years ago, I'll never forget, I'm watching TV, Brenda's sitting next to me, and all of a sudden, these things just show up on LinkedIn, right? They just show up. And I go, oh my gosh, I jump out of my chair. This is like the coolest thing I've ever seen on LinkedIn. And she said, I am really worried about you. You are getting so geeky with this stuff. And I said, honey, this tool is a rockin' tool on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn thinks it's only good for, catch this, when they came out with this university page, the blog post from LinkedIn says, we got this brand new feature. There was a couple days even after that I saw it, finally a blog post that said, for parents and high school kids to pick out the right college to go to. Because you can tell, does Marquette grads in engineering get the jobs at the right places in the town that you want to live? So before you spend all the money with glossy brochure where it looks like it's a great engineering school, you go, their kids aren't getting the best companies in, right? So it is a good tool for that, but I thought for job seekers and for salespeople, this is a home run, because the university thing can be all we need to use in that invitation usually, right? People tend to want to help people that went to the same school. Okay, scroll down. So after you're done with clicking all that, look at, here they all are. Just waiting for you. Stop right there. Now look at those faces. Look at the pictures. They're a little small on this page, but look at their faces. And tell me what you see in common. Everyone, I heard it. What would you say? Smiling. Why are they smiling? They got nice jobs at right. They got nice jobs, right? There might be, you're supposed to have a smiling picture on LinkedIn. That could be another thing. Want to get a good, right? You know what I think it is? They're smiling because they're going to meet you. Any minute now, they're going to meet you. It's their lucky day. You're here. They've been on LinkedIn for 7 years, and finally she's here. I knew she would show up sooner or later. I can't wait to meet her. That's how you got to think about it. If you don't think that way, the problem's between your ears. It's just how your mind frame says about these people. They need to meet you. They want to meet you. And if they don't, they won't accept your connection request. So what? Move on. It's a big list. Okay, cool. Enough of that. Okay, we got to move on from connecting. There's other ways to find people. Who's viewed your profile? People you may know. Oh, there's a million tools. I can't show you anymore. Lots of ways to find people, but now you know how to connect. Yeah.
That's called the university page?
Yeah, the university page. And you can search not only school, and you can use keywords. You can drop in a keyword to do like a wildcard search for certain degrees or certain titles or whatever. Okay, so here we go. Let's move to some of the other things on the game plan. One column is invite. One column is thank you note. Flip your communication template over. Communication template with those 3 scripts on it. If you flip it over, you'll see a thank you note. The thank you note should go out to those people who connected with you when you go connect with your moles and all those other people, right? If they connect with you, send them a thank you note with your resume attached. Thank you note says, hey, thanks for connecting. I appreciate that. If you do hear of any jobs, I'd love to hear about that. But I thought I would attach my resume just in case you wanted to pass it on to somebody. Why not? Right? And if you applied, if you're sending it to them because you applied and you said, Joe, I just applied for this job at your place and I want to work there and I'm excited, I'd be honored to have you join my network, then that one would say, remind them that you applied for this job and you're really excited about it, but you'd also attach the resume or some reference checks or whatever you want to put on there as attachments, just in case you haven't seen it or want to pass it on to somebody because maybe the resume went to a different department, right? HR's sitting on it. That way you give the stuff to the engineering guy, he's got it, HR's sitting on all the rest of them trying to decide. The engineering guy's got it, he runs into his boss and says, I got this person here who just contacted me on LinkedIn, we had a back and forth on email, I think they'd be interesting. Because why not? That's what you have to think about some of this stuff. Okay, cool. That's a thank you note. So one column is invite, the other column is thank you. Notice the column way to the left says lay the groundwork. The left-hand column on your game plan says you might want to lay some groundwork before you send connection requests. The 2 ideas that I give you for laying groundwork is to look at people's profiles before you connect with them, a day or so before, in hopes that they look at you. You can look at who's viewed your profile, right? You look at them. If they look back, now your note can say, hi, I noticed you viewed my profile. I looked at yours. You don't have to stick your tongue out. Now, on the free account, you get to see the last 5 people that looked at you, but only what they want you to see of them. If they're hiding, if they're stalking without showing their stuff, no paid account in the world lets you see that. You can set, every user on LinkedIn can set what they want to look like when they stalk. Can't stop that. That's a beautiful thing, actually, that you can actually go look at people and they don't know you're there. But if they look at you and you can tell, then why not use that in the connection request? But you could only see the last 5 people that looked at you. Now, if you decide that you always want to be anonymous and never show up as a stalker, and you're on the free account, then you don't have any who's viewed your profile. That's the penalty. Got that? So if you decide to always be an anonymous stalker, when you're stalking, LinkedIn puts you in the penalty box and does not let you look at the 5 people who looked at you last. You have to set your setting to, I'm going to let people know when I'm looking at them, then I get to see who looks at me. That's the free account. If you start paying, then you get to see 90 days worth of stalkers, but only what they want you to see. Even though you pay, you don't get to see the people who want to be anonymous. While we're on paid versus free, because that's the first question that you're going to ask when we do Q&A. Paid versus free is this. You shouldn't pay unless you have to. What typically do people have to do to pay? If you start doing a lot of searches, a lot of LinkedIn searches, has anybody run into the LinkedIn search limit? You will run into the LinkedIn search limit. How do you get around the LinkedIn search limit?
Google.
You got to pay or you use Google.
What about incognito?
What's that mean? Is that,
Incognito window, if you open that up.
On a browser.
Browser.
I don't know.
But if you're logged into LinkedIn, it still counts against you.
You have to use Google searches.
Logged out of it.
If you Google LinkedIn X-ray searches, there are blogs about how to get around with long Boolean strings, with commas and quotes. It's beyond me, but you might be good with that stuff. You can get around the paid LinkedIn, but the $30 a month LinkedIn, the job seeker one, will not stop you from the search limits. You got to go all the way to premium, which is $50 a month. My heart breaks for you. But like the alumni search does not count against the limit.
What's the limit?
Who knows? We don't know.
Just all of a sudden.
We don't know. It changes. They don't want us to know. So they can keep changing it, right? I mean, and I know since Microsoft bought LinkedIn, the limit's been much smaller. For sure, yeah.
Along with the search limit, is there a limit on how many people you can try to connect where they won't let you do it anymore for a while?
So here's the deal. You can have 30,000 connections. You get 5,000 connection requests outbound until you have to ask for more. But if you go on LinkedIn tomorrow and fire off about, I don't know, take a guess, 300 connection requests to a bunch of people that were reaching, you know, these are reach people, right? And enough people go, I don't know him, because you did 300, you could get a penalty box note that says from this point forward you need the email address for everybody that you got to connect with until I take that penalty box off of you. So you got to pace yourself a little bit, but trust me, it isn't 15 or 20 a day. Okay? So I don't want you to go, oh, see, Wayne told us to do all this stuff, and then we're going to get thrown in the penalty box. No, my friends. I said 300. Your 10 or 15 a week are not going to put you in any penalty box. Even 5, 6, 10 a day are not going to put you. Especially if you write the note right. It's those people that just push the connect button that you're not telling the person why they should give a rip, and then they're going, this is a spammer person, boom, boom, penalty. Right?
Can I say something about people that have invited you? A lot of people click and they haven't written the note because they clicked on their phone by accident or they hit the button by accident. And you just don't have time. You're busy. You don't want to. If you say, I don't know them, they get penalized. If you just leave them there and look later, then they don't get penalized.
Yeah, so I would not...
I don't know
yeah.
them unless you really think they're a spammer.
Yeah.
You can't see any reason in the world.
Ellie's right about that. If you get an inbound invitations, be kind. Okay? But there are spammers, right? If you see a profile that has hardly any connections, no picture or a bad picture, not bad like
No, right.
naked people or right or you know, other countries necessarily you should I don't know them, but a lot of times there are fake profiles out there where people are simply just connecting with you because they want to scrape off your email address and sell it to somebody. Do I hate that? I hate it. But that's how life is. People find ways to use good tools for the bad. And the scraping of emails is what they want. And if you connect with them, then they get your email address, and next thing you know, they'll say they're stuck in London and need 3 billion pounds or whatever, right? So on the inbounds, let's talk about inbound invitations, by the way. So Jay, do this for me, will you? Click this right here. No, click My Network. On your inbound invitations, here's what I'd like you to do as a job seeker. As a job seeker, I want you not to accept invitations quickly. I want you to do them very methodically. I want you to go through your list, and I'd always do them from this page. Yesterday I had 58, I cleaned it out pretty good. I want you to go through this, I want you to slow down on the inbound invitations and ask yourself this question. Is this person a spammer? If it looks like it, hit ignore, decide whether you want to hit I don't know them, give them a little dinger so they might get in the penalty box. But if you decide to do this, I want you to step back and say, should I follow up and send them my resume? Is it somebody that's an engineer? Is it somebody I know from my past that still works in the industry? Take the opportunity that if they walked into your store, that's basically what they did, right? They took the time to find you somehow, maybe write you a nice note, maybe not, but say to yourself, every time I can reach out and give my resume out, especially if it's another engineer who I knew 4 jobs ago, I should do it. I should say, hi, thanks for connecting. I appreciate that. Just use the thank you note. Even though you didn't instigate the invitation, use the thank you note, attach your resume. Why not? Now, if they're not in the industry or whatever, or they don't know you, remember you, then I don't care what you do. But all I want you to do is not just sit here and go, no, yes, oh, okay, I'm done. Not as a job seeker. Every yes should be, Should I reach out to them? And maybe I should reach out to them and have a cup of coffee. Maybe maybe it isn't just a resume. This person does know a lot of people in the industry, and it's my time to call them and say, can you have a beer or a cup of coffee? Because I need to talk to you because you're still in the business and I'm not, and I want to be. And you probably know some stuff, and we were friends, and we should be friends again. Let's do it. So now, I love this new feature on LinkedIn. Look what it does. This is brand new. You see this box around here? So when you write custom notes, they're going to stand out now, aren't they, with this box? Oh, I was so thankful when I saw this just today. That was a LinkedIn change I got today, that they've added this nice box where basically all your little custom invites are going to stand out because of that box now. They used to be sort of buried, and somebody might not even read them. Now they're going to read them. Okay, so inbound invitations, be very methodical and look at them as an opportunity to say something and follow up. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, you probably know, but there is a way to recover if you hit and send one without sending a custom request. And it's under that manage all button where you can withdraw what you just sent
That's right.
and send it again with a
Yeah, so under manage all, you have the opportunity that as long as they haven't accepted right quick, you can withdraw and then send the note out. That's good. And you can also, you can withdraw in general, or LinkedIn will continue to ping those people on some kind of a periodic basis. We don't know what that period, but they will. They'll continue to ping the people that don't respond to you. Okay, let's talk about a few other things. The next two columns are share and engage. Yeah.
Just real quickly, I get a ton of invites for a variety of reasons, and most of them I ignore. Is there a problem with just not responding at all, other than you're going to get pinged by?
Yeah, they'll just sit in your inbox for a long time, right?
Yeah,
Your inbox must be huge.
yeah, I'm sure it is.
I don't think there's any penalty.
No, I don't think there's a penalty for leaving them in there.
But I guess we would.
Other than you just having to go through them.
Yeah.
Right, and we would question, what is your profile doing that you're not
Yeah.
interested in connecting to all those people? Maybe that's signaling to you that your profile's sending out something that you don't want.
Yeah, that's what Ellie's bringing up a good point. Something's happening with your profile that's causing you to come up in searches that don't apply to you, right? Something. Otherwise, you'd say to yourself, I'm a job seeker and these are all engineers. This is a cool thing that's happening. So I agree. There's something you got to dig in maybe and see why that's happening. Yeah.
You were saying, I don't know the person, is that the ignore?
Well, after ignore, once you ignore, a box will pop over here and say,
Oh, okay.
I don't know, and that's another button to click.
I'm too old to really know computers well.
Well, it's a lot of this stuff doesn't happen until you take step number one, ignore it, and then the box pops open.
Can you ignore without saying you don't know them?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can ignore can be just enough.
That's a nice way to get them.
Yeah, ignore they go away. You're not reporting it with I don't know them. I don't know them gives them a dinger in their penalty box.
You can just leave them in your inbox.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the other two columns. Engaging and sharing, being involved in conversations, getting some activity going on LinkedIn. Okay, when I do my LinkedIn consults, with job seekers especially, let's go to my profile, or go to Amy's. Let's hope she's got some activity. I don't know, let's see. And scroll down just a little bit. Okay, cool, she does. Okay, cool. Okay, this is your activity box. This shows articles you've written, things you've liked, shared, or commented on other people's stuff, or things that you've shared. Okay? As a job seeker, here's what I see way too often. All job seeking junk. And all I see is desperation instead of look for engineering articles. Look for your specialty area. What are you reading? What are you finding interesting? Show the world you're still in the game, not just, oh, I went to another job fair. I went to my 18,000th Wayne Breitbarth presentation on LinkedIn. I mean, I like that you did that, but if that's all that's there, people go, this is a chronic job seeker person who he's not in the industry anymore. It just shows desperation. Look for articles and liking and sharing articles that are in your expertise space. And those articles, when you're liking, sharing, and commenting, and posting your own articles, what will they typically cause? An increase in But what kind of activity?
Viewing the profiles.
Viewing profiles. Do we like that? We better like that. Get this. A few years ago, somebody did a study. You won't like this, but listen. They said it takes 300 profile views to get a job interview. 300. Well, how do we tell how many profile views we have? Do me a favor, Jay. Go to, type my name in there. And then when you see my profile come up, click it. You know how to look and see how many profile views you have? I think it's, keep going. It's on this page. Hey, here we go. Okay, so this is in 90 days. That's what that number is. Well, divide it. I'm in pretty good shape. Guess what your number's going to be? 49. 49, right? 49 in 90 days. Good luck on your one interview every 6 months. Now, let's say that study was wrong. Let's say it was half wrong. Call it $1.50. 150. So we said, you're wrong, it's not that. It's 150. Still got a ways to go, right? So what strategy you got to have is say, I need more people to look at this profile. Hopefully the right people. One of the things we talked about in the first half will do that, right? You're looking at the engineers at Rockwell, you're looking at the engineers at Johnson Controls, some are looking back, you're sending out invitations, they're looking. And then the status update thing is a way for you to get looks too. Got it? Now, the other technique, anybody know what the @mention is? Tagging people. Tagging, it's called tagging on Facebook, it's called @mention on LinkedIn. Anybody want to explain it? Ellie.
You post something in engineering, and you have a bunch of buddies in engineering that would be interested in that article as well, and they know how to use LinkedIn. So just like a Twitter handle, you do the @ symbol, and you start typing that person's name that you're connected to on LinkedIn, and their name will be tagged in this article. So it not only will appear in your status update, they will get an alert in their email box that you've tagged them, and it'll appear in their status box, and you're kind of spreading the love. You're out here reading articles. They don't have time to read articles. They're working, right? But you're kind of showcasing yourself with those working people.
You'll typically get a profile view by everybody you @mention, and some of those people will even say thank you.
And share what you sent them. And
So
like it.
think about this. Let's say you go to you apply for a job today at Rockwell, engineer. You find the VP of engineering. You know he's the decision maker at some level, right? Maybe not the person who's going to interview you, but somewhere he's the person who put the number in, we need a new engineer. You find his profile. You go down to his activity. You see some information he's either wrote, that's what this is, or shared. Find something that's good and positive and is on your brand. Something about engineering that makes sense. You read the article, and then you go to the comment box. You say, thanks put his name. When his name shows up, click it. It'll highlight it. This was a great article. I appreciate you sharing it. Boom. Share. What shows up in his inbox?
Your activity.
Your name. Your name shows up in his inbox. He doesn't know you from Adam. Oh, who is this person who shared my stuff today? What will he do? Look at your? That's right. The VP of engineering has now looked at your profile, and why did he do it? You pulled him in there. Now, does he like that you did that?
He posted it.
He's thrilled. Why would he have shared it unless he wants people to look at it? By you sharing it, you've waltzed him into your network and said, come on, my friends will like this stuff. I'm going to show my friends your thing because I'm interested in what you posted, but really I'm interested in you looking at my profile. Home run! Home run! What's the downside? Nothing! Nothing. And you know what else it'll show? Who has the interview tomorrow? Somebody, right? What's your name again?
I'm Dale.
Dale. So Dale's got an interview. Johnson Controls tomorrow. What kind of work do you do?
I'm supply management.
Supply management. Okay, he's got an interview tomorrow. I told him a whole bunch of cool things that he should have done already, but he didn't. But now he knows at least what to do. But one of the things, if you think about that, before the interview, if you go look at their profile, which you should, send them a connection request and say how excited you are about the interview. Why not? They'll look at your profile ahead of time. They'll see you're not a dinosaur. And I'm saying that with love, just so you know. I'm saying that as a 60-year-old who gets pegged as an old guy, who they don't want old guys that don't know how to run computers anymore and are nervous about stuff like LinkedIn, but you're doing something that nobody else is doing, and you're getting people's attention and showing people you're not a dinosaur, and you look at the articles that are on his profile, and you maybe give him a little mention, and he goes, I like this guy. He introduced me basically to his whole network with my article. Wow, I got that. I can't wait to meet him. You do that 2 or 3 times over a month, even if you never had an interview coming up, all of a sudden he goes, this guy's on the ball. Now, you don't do it 4 times in a day, that's creepy. So the things, and I know what you were thinking. You were thinking 1 time is creepy. You're wrong. There is a creepy factor here, but 1 time is not creepy. 1 time, or maybe 1 time every other week to get a person's attention, but also you're giving them a chance to get their stuff into your network. Nobody's going to be mad about that. And you're going to get profile views. Okay, so that's the activity thing going on in the right-hand column. Here's what we're going to do. It's 8:56. I've got a few things I want to show you that are new. This stuff, some of this stuff just came out in the last 2 weeks. Crazy. Microsoft is really actually doing a pretty good job at LinkedIn. I'm excited about it, to tell you the truth. Okay, here's what we're going to do, Jay. Go to the COO search right here. Slide up a little bit, just a tad. Slide down a little. I'm not seeing it now. Go back the other way. Oh, okay, right here. Click that arrow. Brand new. Oh, you're going to love this. It's back. One of the best features on LinkedIn. Here's what you do. Let's say you get a lunch with a good friend who's been in the industry a long time. You want to make this a productive lunch. You start, let's say it's the engineering thing, right? And you've got your list of your 20 companies. Type in the keyword box engineer. Down in the companies, you can do 5 companies at a time, and then put that person's name in there, and it'll show you if they know anybody at those companies. And you do your homework, and you show up for that lunch, and you say, by the way, I did a little homework, and I saw you know 8 people, 8 engineers at my 30 companies. Can you help me with this? And maybe the help is this. Do you know these people well enough that I could use your name when I send them a connection request? That's all. No meetings, no cups of coffee. We're all too busy for that. I will just use your name in our relationship, and one of those templates is a connection request where you say, Joe Smith suggested we connect, but you're doing your homework with this box. It's a home run. It was gone for 5 months, that box. The ability to use all these other filters and search just one person's network. Home run. Okay, next one. Active status. Okay, go to messaging, Jay. This is brand new. Maybe you might not even have this yet. Slide up just a little bit. This little green dot here just started showing up in the message section. Anybody know what that means? That means right now Michael is on LinkedIn on his desktop. Scroll up a little bit, Jay. Scroll up a little bit. See if we can find somebody that's using mobile. If you can go up a little. You're on the right page. Don't change the page.
Is that just in Sales Navigator?
Nope. This is my regular messaging box. Can you go up a little? Or you go over here. If you put it over here, it'll usually drag up. You've learned a lot about LinkedIn tonight, Jay. I appreciate you, man. I'm telling you. Okay, what's going to show up besides a solid green? There'll be a green with a white dot. It looks like a green donut. That means they're on LinkedIn on mobile at the moment. What does that mean? That means if we sent them a note, hi, I'd like to have a cup of coffee, or hi, I noticed you know John Smith from Johnson Controls, and you didn't hear back from him. You scroll in here and you see the green dot. Hey, just wanted to follow up to see if you knew that guy from Johnson Controls, because you know they're right on the thing and they're getting pinged right away. They're getting a box popping up going, he just sent you a new message. Good stuff. Now, you can turn that off, by the way, if you think that's creepy. And believe me, I've been talking to some people about it. Go, Wayne, that seems really creepy to me. Like they can always know what I'm doing? Then turn it off.
Where do you turn it on?
It's in your settings. Go into your settings. It's like the second or third setting under privacy. It says active status. Turn it off. Would I suggest that? I wouldn't. I think it's a great tool to know when it's time to reach back into somebody that you've sent a message to previously or that sent you a message. Okay, we did the invitation thing. Okay, hit the jobs button there, Jay. Sorry, we're going over a little bit. If you got to go, thanks for coming. Right here. Update career interests. Need to do that right away. Click that, Jay. The word update career interest. Let recruiters know you're open. That button, if you're in solid job search, slide that over to yes. That's why one of the reasons that guy was on audio with I got pinged. He didn't know about that button. Recruiters can search by who slid the button over to yes. Now, if you're working for a company, watch out, because you will be looking pretty quickly here. Because LinkedIn won't promise, they promise you they're not going to tell your current company that you slid the button over, but you don't know what recruiting or MRA got hired to look and the button slid over, right? So be ready for that. But that's an important thing. If you're not currently employed, slide it over. But then go up a little bit, Jay. You need to fill out these career interests so LinkedIn knows which companies that are posting jobs they should feed you up to. And look at it. It's all right here. If you can slide down just a little bit. There's like 5 or 6 different criteria. The kind of job, where it is. Fill that out. See that? Fill that out so that even can show company preferences. We're good. Stop there. So make sure you fill out your job preferences. Yeah.
Just a reminder about that you need to redo that button every 90 days because it defaults.
Okay, didn't know that. Every 90 days. You got to turn it back on and redo it. Good. Thank you for doing that. Okay. Go to John's profile. Slide up to the top. I want to show you a tool that I'm really finding good use with. It's a free Google extension, a Google Chrome extension. That means if you use Chrome for your LinkedIn and download this onto your computer for free, this green button will pop up here. Click that green button, find email. I think it didn't find his. So it's going to look for a person's email address even if you're not connected to them. Pretty cool. Here's another thing. Watch this. Go to this list where it says general. And this is called, it's called Scrape. S-K-R-A-P-P. S-K-R-A-P-P. So you got to go to Google Box, Scrape, S-K-R-A-P-P, Google Chrome extension. Extension is just a piece of software that you load on your computer. It's free, and then these boxes go to the very top of that. Is that the top? It also, get this, look at this. It allows you to put a list together of the people on this list, and even do it in an Excel spreadsheet with email addresses. If they're first degree, it'll grab all the email addresses, put them in a nice spreadsheet. It's a home run. It's brand new, and it might go away because we ain't paying for this. It's not part of LinkedIn. S-K-R-A-P-P. It's not part of LinkedIn. There used to be one called Hunter. It went away. LinkedIn didn't like it hanging on their profiles and they shut them down. They could shut down Scrape as fast as they shut down Hunter. Or maybe LinkedIn will wise up and realize this is a great tool on LinkedIn and buy Scrape and put it so we can do it all the time. Nice tool. Okay, those are 5 things that's sort of, and the 5th one was that box around the invitation. Okay, do me a favor, Jay. Go to my PowerPoint. I'm going to do questions. Go to this PowerPoint. I want to tell you about 2 things that I got for you. Put the slide on right here. Click that button right there. So 2 things I have to offer for you tonight to help you on a discounted basis. It's my granddaughter. Isn't she lovely? Okay, 2 things. I offer classes. I have workshop. Okay, you have a flyer for my upcoming workshop. Oh, what's this? Counter problem. Lovely. Okay, just go back to PowerPoint. I might not. Okay, just leave it up like that. It's fine. So I have these classes coming up. $50 off if you want to attend. Okay, that's the link. Or you've got the link here too on this flyer. Okay, but you use the code Stillwaters and you get $50 off. It's a $250 class. You can come for $200. You can give it to your friends as well. It's not just for you, okay? Tell your friends about this class September 21st. Give them this flyer. Tell them they can register for $50 off. The other thing I offer is these one-on-one consultations. I do 6 of these a week. Half of them are with job seekers, where I mark up your profile ahead of time with a nice red marker, just like a good school teacher. And there'll be red on it. Don't be freaking out over that. And I email it to you, and then we spend 1 solid hour together. You send me your resume ahead of time, and I critique you hard on that profile, but then we go through these activities. We'll go to Johnson Controls page, and we'll talk about the checklist, and we'll do the activities and push you a little harder one-on-one, and I'm going to go hard for an hour. If you want that kind of coaching for an hour, let me know. Here's the link, bit.ly/one-on-one LI consult. Or you can fill out your sign-up sheet. If you're not getting my LinkedIn tips currently, please fill out only 1/2 of this. Sign up to get my free weekly link. How many people are getting my LinkedIn tips? Thank you so much. Do you read them? I hope so. My wife and I work. When do they come? They come on always during the Packer game. Always. You can count on them coming during the Packer game because you got time on your hands. If the Packers aren't playing, there'll be the Brewer game. If it's not the Brewer game, 1:15 on Sunday afternoon. Okay? And my wife and I work really hard to bring you the latest and greatest, the newest things that are going on LinkedIn, the changes that are taking place, and some strategies you need to know. If you want to consider the 175, I'll send you a note about how that works for the consult. But be sure to sign up for the tips if you're not getting them. Tell you about my workshops and stuff, everything in the future. Okay, click to the next slide, and then I'll do questions. Here's some testimonials from somebody who did the 175 deal with me. Who's got questions? Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you're doing the @mention, these are people you've already connected with, right? Or does it?
Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be.
So as far as reaching out to connecting with someone, you can do that at any time.
You can @mention anybody.
Okay.
They do not have to be a first degree.
Is that in your book?
Yes. Come on. Yeah.
Is there a way to link your messaging rather than having to go through your LinkedIn messages to your email to say, oh, somebody responded to a reach out or a note that I sent to them, I need to go look at it? Because usually I just scroll down my list of all kinds of messages, but
So you're not getting notified in your
email.
that a message came in. Yeah, change that notification. It's in your settings. If you go to, there's 3 sections of, here, do this, Jay. Go back to LinkedIn and click the me box. We'll just take a scroll through a few settings, just or at least an understanding of what's there. Go to me, right here. Me. Oops. I don't care what page. Right here. Me. Privacy and settings and privacy. You have 3 tabs in your settings. Account, privacy, communications. In the communications tabs, you can set all those emails. What you want to get in your email box, that one should be one. Sure. Let me show you one that's hard to find that people love. Go over here to account, click that, we're on account, slide down. You know you can download all your first level connections into a nice spreadsheet with their email addresses? Right here. Get an archive of your data. Click that, Jay, will you? Thank you. Slide up just a little bit and click that blue box, request an archive. You'll get a spreadsheet from LinkedIn. First name, last name, a current title, current company name, and their email address, and now they just added the date that you connected with them is another criteria. In a spreadsheet that you can now do something else with all their email addresses if you want to put that in Outlook or do something else with it.
And that's in the settings and privacy?
That's in settings under account. Under the privacy setting, click that for a second, Jay. Click privacy. Under privacy, the ones you should be aware of, that's the one where you turn the little green button off or on. Active status, where you don't want to know, you don't want people to know when you're on the computer. See who you can see your connections. You can hide your connections if you want from the rest of your connections. I wouldn't. I think it's a networking site meant for that, but you can. Slide down a little bit further. Right, that one. Viewer of this profile also viewed. It's another thing I tell all the job seekers when I do a one-on-one. That's the box that shows up on the right-hand side that says people also viewed when you're on your profile. Guess what that box is usually filled up with? A bunch of people grabbing your reader's attention. Click that on, will you, Jay? Viewers of this profile also viewed. Click that right here.
So you're saying you want to shut that off?
No. Yeah, I do want to shut that off. Because all it does is take the attention off you.
Yeah.
What do you want that for?
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't stop you from seeing it on other people's profiles, because that is a good technique, by the way. If you like this person, we like the box, because the people are similar. But if everybody does what I'm telling you, there won't be any boxes anymore. But as a job seeker, I just as soon not have them move from you to over here to some other engineers. Right? Who needs that, right? One more, profile viewing options. Click that one, Jay, and pull it up a little bit. This is your stalker setting that we talked about earlier. Just a tad higher. Anonymous, someone at, full profile view. Full, here I am. That's recommended. Of course it's recommended. If you're anonymous, then you can't get the view back. We want view backs. We need 150 a month. Or we need 150 per interview, don't we? So it's crazy to be that as a job seeker, unless you have a certain strategy. But in general, you need that, because that's how you're going to get the profile views. But you can flip it off and on. But remember this: if you're on the free account, let's say you want to go look at other job seekers' profiles, but they're friends of yours. You just assume they don't know you're stalking on them. So you want to go stealth. Before you do that, go look at your 5 people, because the minute you hit that button, those 5 will go away, and they won't start filling up till you put it back on the top, and then they'll start filling again. So always make sure that your 5 stalkers aren't interesting and somebody you should follow up with before you clear out that thing, because on the free account, it will clear out the minute you put that, and it won't start filling up. And it will always show what your setting was when you stalked, not when the person finally looked at the list. Okay? It knows what you set when you rolled into their, I call it their store, their profile, right? Okay, other questions? And then we're going to wrap. Last question. Yes, sir.
How do you get to the interest section of your profile and modify what's in there?
Interest. Good. It's a good question. Interest section is gone.
Okay.
But the information that you previously had in the interest section is still there.
Exactly.
And if you go to the help center and ask that question, they will say just that. Well, also notice this. You know you can't see your industry anymore? Go to John's profile. Where's his industry? And yet when you go into my profile, where's my profile? Right here? Oh, I'm not going to click right here. My profile is right there. If I went into this pencil, slide up just a little bit, if I hit don't hit this pencil, but if I hit that pencil, it does ask me for my industry. So it's there, but it doesn't show up on the profile anymore. I sent them, the Help Center, a note last week, and they said just that. They said, we're still asking for the industry, but we're not currently displaying on the profile.
That's actually kind of good. You know, so the algorithm part is still working.
But you know what's interesting
It
is,
also leaves you open to other stuff.
but it's still a search in the filters. So it's a filter that you can search by, but then when you get there, you don't know who's got it anyway, except you know that it's silly. So interest is, at the moment, is on a hiatus. Now, here's one more. Here, catch this. This is the bonus of the night. How many characters did I tell your headline could be? 120. Good. Well done. How many are your titles? 100. 120 on the... See this? That's my headline. It's close to 200 characters. Here's how you do it. Put your headline in at 120 characters. Then, go to your mobile app. You can add another 80 characters. Save it on the mobile app, but if you go in here and change anything that's in this pencil, it'll say you're 60 over. And then you'll have to do it again. Anything like the industry or anything else, it says you're over, but if you change it on the mobile app, you can have another 80 characters that are in the headline. Those are golden. You know, I did that at the end just because I know somebody said, I didn't learn anything here tonight. I sat here all night, the guy gave me nothing. For you, that was for you. Okay, my friends, I'm gonna close this in prayer, and then Guy will say goodbye. If you got to leave, go. Father God, thanks for this time together. I love these people, and I so hope I don't see them anymore in the job-seeking mode. I hope the next time I see them or hear from them is a thank you note about how this has helped them and how they found their great job, and they were happy they spent the night together. I thank you for Guy and the rest of the team, Pastor Laura, for opening up their home for us here and allowing us to be in this warm space and space where we could learn from each other and help each other. And I just ask that you give us grace, push us into the things we need to do, give us confidence, give us friends around us that'll help support us during our job search. And we pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, Guy, take it away. Pleasure.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.